this video, we're going to learn how to make off-grid battery backed up solar photovoltaic power systems. When those are layered on top of each other in the solar panel, as the sunlight in the form of photons hits it, 1 square meter of captured sunlight has a potential of over 2,000 watts of energy in it. The last major component is the inverter, and this is what takes the DC electricity from the battery bank. And modified sine wave, also called modified square wave inverters, are less expensive, more efficient. You may or may not have net metering in your jurisdiction. So let's review Chapter 3. There are 2 types of systems, grid tie and battery-based. Ohm's law is often given in this circular chart, and it boils down to 3 formulas, which we generally, to make this work, we just have to imagine that the hose is the wire and the water pressure is the voltage. And you'll see that it has different ranges. This one has areas of 2, 20, 200, and 1,000. And I'm going to use the clamp-on meter to show you how easy it is to use. What's great about the clamp-on meter is, and when you start, you put a little bit of solder right on the contact point, right where that tip is touching the work. On the top left is our photovoltaic array. It has all of the panels wired together, and sometimes you use a combiner box right after that. The chemical reaction inside the battery speeds up, and at colder temperatures, it slows down. And then squeeze on the hygrometer bulb so that it sucks up the acid fully. You've got to be sure that you cycle them. Do not leave them sitting there discharged. Go ahead and put your funnel in. Be sure there is no dirt getting into the opening whatsoever, and put small amounts of distilled water in. Well, now we're going to go into the electronics lab here and show you the exact output of a modified sine wave inverter and a pure sine wave inverter. The sine wave inverter puts out a nice smooth waveform changing from plus to minus through that center 0 volt point. Modified sine wave, also called modified square wave inverters, are less expensive, more efficient, and are useful for many applications. Now, in many battery systems, you could use 2 different inverters at the same time. One of the types you're going to see is this, where you push the wire into the hole, and then it has a screw head on the top or the side where you put the screwdriver in. Now, if we had a 4,000 watt inverter, a large commercial one, we might be using about 315 amp breakers as our... Now, notice inside of the case that there are holes for screwing this box onto your backboard. The overall efficiency of the charge controller is slightly reduced. Batteries add up the same as a photovoltaic panel. They used to call photovoltaic panels batteries when they first made them. Between these 2 posts, I'm going positive to negative because I'm putting these in series. I cut that exactly. You can go ahead and write down the dimensions you're going to need for these pieces. The rear wall, the rear piece, the front. The combiner box is used to combine the wires from your array sets. So say from the lowest point on December 21st to the highest point on June 21st. Then I take my protractor and put it on top, and I can look right at the markings on the protractor and find that low position for the winter, December 21st. So what are the optimum angles to adjust your array if you adjust, say, 2, 3, or 4 times a year? Now let's take a look at the frame so far that we've set up for our 4-panel array. You can see that we basically have a rectangle, and we have some cross members to rigidify it.